Welcome to our module on Step 2 of the 5-step process. Hello, my name is Susan Corey-Hergo, and I'm one of the SST9 consultants who will be facilitating these modules. You will also hear from Barb Cockcroft, Tyler Keener, Colleen Cornish, Lori Langenfeld, and Julie Wyatt throughout the OIP modules. Together, we support districts and schools as we represent the OIP process through the State Support Team, Region 9. Region 9 serves schools and districts in Stark, Wayne, and Holmes counties. If you are watching this with your team, this is a great time to review your team norms. The Ohio Improvement Process builds the capacity of all districts to be able to provide every child in the state of Ohio with equitable opportunities to learn. Ohio's strategic plan focuses on meeting the needs of the whole child. The 5-step process is a structure that can be followed to ensure that the 10 priority strategies are being adhered to and addressed. A deep understanding of the 5-step process is necessary to reap all the benefits. These documents can be found within this module in the Google Classroom. They are also linked into the slide deck. We recommend accessing the discussion guide during this recording, so when we pause and reflect, you have a place to document your thoughts. The Flexible Learning Options has a variety of resources to help you go deeper. You may choose to do 1 or 2 of them to solidify your understanding of this phase of the process. Some of the resources would also be beneficial to use within your team. The learning intentions for this module are: I am learning the components of Step 2. I am learning how to recognize evidence-based strategies. I can explain the importance of evidence-based strategies. I am learning how to locate evidence-based strategies. Once you've completed this module and the activities related to it, you should be able to: I can explain the components of Step 2. I can identify evidence-based strategies. I can explain the importance of using evidence-based strategies, and I can locate evidence-based strategies across multiple sources. After identifying critical needs and root causes, teams research and select an evidence-based strategy that addresses the prioritized critical needs. So why evidence-based? Because the strategy has been proven to be effective. It exercises fiscal responsibility as well as effective use of the time and effort of those involved. Having a common understanding of terms such as evidence-based is necessary for full implementation. Please take a moment to read. It is common for research-based and evidence-based to be misunderstood or used interchangeably. Note the difference between the two. Evidence-based ensures the entire program or strategy has gone through the study to determine its effectiveness, whereas research-based conveys that pieces or parts of the strategy have been found in research, but on a whole has not been fully studied. In the Every Student Succeeds Act, it states we should be using evidence-based practices with all of our students. This tiered model describes the level of evidence to support the strategy or program. Tier 1 includes the strategies and programs that have the strongest level of impact. As you move down the pyramid, you will find the evidence of impact decreases. For more information on SS tiers of evidence, see the Flexible Learning Options. You will find a variety of materials to support your learning. Stop here and reflect on SS level of evidence. What are the differences between the tiers? Record your notes in the study guide. So as you can see from the tiers of evidence, there is a continuum of impact. In education, lots of things work to help students make progress. However, they don't work equally well. So you may select a strategy that supports some growth, but it's important to select strategies that will give you maximum growth. We have to use what works best, not just what works. A good example of this is in the video. Take a look.
Have you ever worked for Dr. Francis? Oh yeah. He's okay.
Just okay?
Guess who just got reinstated?
Well, not officially.
Nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. I'll see you in there.
Just okay is not okay. AT&T has America.
So you can see you wouldn't just want an okay doctor or just an okay procedure if you needed heart surgery. You would want the surgeon and the procedure that you know will give you the best results and make you 100% better, not just slightly better. Here are some considerations to make when selecting an evidence-based strategy. It should align to the need. So see step 1, what does your evidence tell you? And it should be a logical choice. It should align with ESSA's level of evidence. It should be doable. Some strategies require more resources than others: time, staff, coaching, PD, money. Ensuring that you have the necessary resources to implement is crucial to success. Professional learning and monitoring around the strategies and programs selected has a direct impact on the effectiveness and ultimately student achievement. Until we know the practice is being implemented with fidelity, we can't expect to see a change in student outcomes. Teachers should be well supported with ongoing learning resources, coaching, or other district support. And lastly, if the practice can't be sustained, it's not worth the time, effort, and money that might be required. How does your team currently select strategies and programs? Are they evidence-based? Are they the best strategies, or are they just okay? How do you know that what you're doing is having an impact? Stop here and reflect. You may be wondering, where can I find these strategies? So the next several slides will provide you with some various resources that can help you. It will be helpful for leadership teams to have a quick and easy access to these materials and understand how to use them. During the OIP process, it will be essential to have access not only for selecting, but for understanding and supporting implementation. So I'm going to start with this barometer. It serves as a measurement tool that can be used to understand the impact a program or strategy or practice will have. John Hattie conducted a meta-analysis on over 250 influences in education with an N size of 300 million students. This barometer represents the metric of the effect size of each influence. Some influences have negative effects on student learning. Some have a low effect, about the equivalent you would find of just natural maturation. And others have a significant effect size of 1 or year's growth in 1 year's time. 0.40 is the hinge point, which indicates a year's growth in a year's time. Influences above 0.40 will have more than a year's growth in a year's time. So you can see not all strategies are equal or have the same impact, which is why it is essential to select strategies that will give students the most growth, that work the best. While John Hattie conducted the meta-analysis, the strategies, practices, and programs he conducted include work from Marzano and many others. You can click on this double-sided chart in your slide deck and find a link in the flexible learning options. This chart lists the 250 plus influences along with the effect sizes. There is a key on the bottom left to assist with interpreting the effect sizes. You will find the influences that have a negative effect size. For example, retention has a negative 0.32, which means a student will lose almost a year's growth, as well as influences that have high effect size. For example, feedback, which has a 0.70. Using this strategy correctly provides more than a year's growth in a year's time. It's one of those strategies that works best. This can be used as a quick reference of strategies that teams may select from. Selecting from the green and blues ensures there is a strong level of evidence and the practice will have a high impact on student learning. Review the handout. Look for strategies that have a high, medium, and low impact. What surprises you? Where do you find your most commonly used strategies? Are they just okay, or are you using what works best? How will you use this information with your team? Here are several books that expand upon the chart. They help define how to use these evidence-based strategies with fidelity, as well as when they are most effective in the learning process. In these 4 books, Visible Learning for Science, Social Studies, Literacy, and Mathematics, you can learn about strategies that are effective for surface, deep, and learning transfer. Teacher-based teams may find these resources and can support their selection of evidence-based strategies. New resources are coming out all the time and provide a lot of great information around practices with high effect sizes. In addition to finding the evidence-based practices on the chart and in the books, you will also find them in this free database, MetaX. You will need to create an account and you will have access to the 250 plus influences. You can click on the image to take you to the site or use the QR code, and the link is also in your flexible learning options. The Institute for Education and Sciences, through a grant, created What Works Clearinghouse, which is yet another resource for locating evidence-based strategies. Clicking on the image in your slide deck will take you to the site, and it is included in the flexible learning options. This is another resource for leadership teams to utilize when selecting evidence-based strategies, practices, and programs. So take some time to familiarize yourselves with the online databases of MetaX and What Works Clearinghouse. Again, consider how teams can utilize these resources for locating evidence-based practices. It's important for teams to create a systemic approach for selecting strategies. Once you analyze the data and identify the need, you can utilize the resources provided to select the best strategy that aligns to the need. Targeted evidence will identify the targeted need, and the targeted strategy should align. So let's look at the role of the DLT in that stadium view. Again, after determining the district need, the DLT will do a deep dive into evidence-based strategies, learning and studying to determine which will match the needs of the district. The DLT may also evaluate the use of current strategies and determine if they should be stopped or continued. The DLT also participates in ongoing learning of the selected strategy to support the district with the implementation. The BLT, with the view of their section, will select strategies for the building based on the needs identified. BLT should also do a deep dive in learning and studying the possible strategies to ensure they have made the best selection. The BLT will also participate in ongoing learning of the selected strategy to support a smooth and successful implementation. The TBT, in their close-up of the game, will engage in a deep dive of studying the possible strategies that will help them with the identified needs in the classroom and with their students, and then make the best selection based on what they have learned. In addition, this TBT is a learning community that will support each other in ongoing learning and implementation of the strategy. To summarize and clarify the rationale for using evidence-based strategies, proven strategies improve student learning. We need to invest time and resources into those proven strategies, and we need a systemic approach that is clear and consistent across the district for selecting the strategies. So during this module, we focused on the step 2 of the process. Be sure to complete the other modules so you fully understand all aspects of the process. Thank you for your time and attention in learning about step 2, and please reach out to our team with any questions.